Welcome to American Podcast.
Hey, what's up? Tuesday's wrap-up show, I went down to complain about Steve Langford because I believe he is railroading Captain Jenks with a one-sided story he's doing on the news, really railing against Steve, called him a bunch of names, but Steve was too much of a pussy to come confront me on the wrap-up show. Fuck you, Steve. Check it out.
Langford and Jenks. There seems to be two issues at hand here. One is Jenks and what he's done and I guess the damage that Langford's doing in reporting this kind of stuff. At the other end of it is the way Langford's doing it, because people are in the back are very pissed off at Langford. Yet, I think you got to separate the two issues. So first, let's talk about what Jenks is doing, and does he have a right to be so upset?
Well, listen, we've been getting a lot of complaints from people. I tried to call Jenks a couple times. The number that I've had from him that's worked for 25 years doesn't work anymore. The last email that I had for him doesn't work anymore. So I tried to contact him as well, having nothing to do with the news. I started to get alarmed after the second story because, for me, what happens is people who hire Jenks, they think that they're getting part of the show. I don't know what he tells them, what he doesn't tell them, but I think that they think that he's a part of the show, and that when he doesn't deliver on what he's supposed to do, it reflects badly on us. So I was trying to call him just to find out what was going on. Now, a lot of the guys in the back, like Jason and some of the other guys, were saying, well, Steve's doing a hatchet job because he's doing the story without Jenks. He tried to contact Jenks, had no way, was unable to get him. The same numbers that the people who had contracts with Jenks were trying to call was disconnected. So he reported a story. He had contracts. He had canceled checks. And I didn't think that he was doing anything so damaging. And why didn't Jenks call Steve immediately after the first story and say, whoa, you got the whole thing wrong? It wasn't until the second story or the third story that he called.
So why does Langford get everybody so upset if he's in the right, as you said?
Because he's abrasive. He does this. He comes from the the Current Affair School of Journalism, where he gets in your face. He hardly ever believes you, and and it works a lot. It works a lot. He's doing it in an abrasive manner, but I think that he's probably onto something. I'm just not positive exactly what it is.
It pisses me off because Steve presents it as fact. He might have a good theory, but he presents it as if Jenks is already guilty.
But hold on a second. Here's the fact that Steve does have. He's got 3 different places. He's got 3 contracts. He's got 3 copies of canceled checks, and all 3 owners have said that Jenks has not made the appearance.
I don't think that's true. I don't think they said, from what I understand.
One of them was that it was supposed to be on January 9th, and they didn't want Jenks to make the appearance because he had not done what he said he was going to do, and they had not been able to get in touch with him since they sent them the check in August.
So they canceled on him.
Well, they didn't cancel. They said they'd rather he didn't show up.
That sounds like a canceling.
Right, but if you promise that you're going to do some things and you can't they're not even sure he's coming.
I think what Benji's point is, and I think Langford's way off base here, but Benji's point is in the presentation. Langford doesn't get on the air and say, I don't know, we're getting all these calls, or does a story. People are saying this, and we don't know what the deal is, but he gets on, he makes you fucking sound guilty, and Jenks is sitting there. He's finally getting Jenks' side of the story on the air, and Jenks is saying, no, this is how it happened. And instead of Langford going, oh, that's very interesting, I'll bring those facts back to the bar owners, he starts attacking Jenks, saying, well, they said this, and they said this, and, he just accused. He takes the premise that Jenks is a liar, and Jenks is wrong, and these random bar owners who he's never met are right, and that's just it, and just railroads the
But
guy.
you and I were having this conversation. Why you said, well, these are just random bar owners. Who knows what their agenda is? You think that 3 different bar owners independently got together to say that they didn't get their money?
Well, first of all,
or their money's worth?
First of all, the 4 bars have already turned into one Jenks has admitted he fucked up on and he's in court over. One guy canceled on him, like you just said. So now we're talking about.
Well, we don't
2.
know that because that guy said something different.
No, you just said that the guy canceled on him.
Okay, that one. Okay, that's the last one.
Now we're down.
So now there's 2 in the middle.
So now we're down with 2 in the middle.
2
Who, by
more.
the way, got the bar names on the air today. So that could be a rationale for calling the news. Number 1, and my point is with Steve. Steve would never read mine and Will's page 69 stories because.
So you have an axe to grind.
Well, absolutely, but I'm going to tell you why. Because we were doing gossip. And he said, you guys only have one side of the story here, and I won't read anything without both sides of the story. And we go, it's gossip, but you don't need both sides of the story for gossip. He goes, no, you have to have both sides of the story. Meanwhile, he running on the air with one side of the story.
What was the item that he would?
All of them. He wouldn't read any of them. You would just want to read page 69.
Yeah, Lisa G did the page 69 stuff.
But I would love. I mean, the one phrase that we heard in the contract was "to the best of his ability," and that really seems like that covers because we know that Jenks tries to get on and does try to plug it.
No, I agree. I agree with that. But
Jason's issue is less with Jenks and more with Langford.
Jenks could be a scumbag for all I know. I don't know. Maybe Jenks is a scumbag into this. But my point is that he's a fucking gas station attendant who makes $200 on these gigs, and he got Langford going on the air stating almost as fact that he's ripping all these people off, which, regardless of whether or not it's true, is now going to affect his future ability to be able to go out and get a job at a bar. And Steve just goes on the air with this shit and doesn't fucking, I know, okay, so you couldn't get a hold of Jenks. So there's other ways to present it besides the way that Langford clearly thinks Jenks is guilty.
Chris in Virginia, you're on the wrap-up show.
Good morning, everybody. Hey, now.
Hey, Chris.
I'd just like to make a comment on Langford. I think he's amazing to the show. He adds a lot. Look at the stir he's causing in the office here. And also his reporting skills on top of that. I'm an investigator myself, and just basically going along the same premise. When you're getting corroboration from 3 to 6 different people who probably don't even know each other saying the same story, all fingers point to Jenks being guilty on this.
Hold on, now we're down to 2 people saying
no, we're not. There were 3 that he reported on it, 3 others that he didn't report on because he had the contract. But again, you think 6 people independently called all to get their bar's name on the air?
Do you think Jason is off base here, Chris?
No, I think Jason can make somewhat of a point, but I mean, facts are facts when it comes down to it. When 3 or 6 or whomever are making this point that Jenks isn't showing up and he's not doing what he's been told to do, and by Jenks having a non-response for a few months now. I mean, what does that make him look like? I mean, no response is almost like making yourself look a little bit guilty, in my opinion.
Yeah, there were a couple of parts today where I thought, and I want to give the guy the benefit of the doubt. I haven't heard his side of the story, but I thought he was deflecting. Like he kept saying to Steve Langford, "How come you never come down and cover what a good job I do?"
That's a stupid point.
And that's a stupid point because nobody said, nobody's saying that you don't go, and when you go, you don't do a great job.
That's irrelevant.
That's irrelevant. We're saying that there are some that you haven't done. That's the accusation. Answer that.
Let's go to Jeff in Providence. Jeff, welcome to the wrap-up show.
Gary, you dropped the ball. When Jenks was on the phone, you should have had somebody call one of the bar owners and have them go at it right then and there.
Jeff, here's the deal. The deal is that Langford had all the information. He was in there. Like, I don't have the information, so... and Langford did not expect to be called in. Jenks just called out of the. I mean, we haven't been able to go to Jenks for weeks.
Segment. That was a 20-minute segment.
Right, but he's got Jeff. He's got Langford is the only one with the phone numbers.
Oh, number 2.
But you're right. You're right. If I had them, I would have put somebody up in a minute.
But the thing I don't understand is you guys are saying, well, they canceled Friday. They don't want them to show up. Well, they probably have another form of entertainment they're trying to push. They don't want to end up saying, okay, let's hope he shows up, and then screw everybody that shows up to watch him not show up.
What it sounds like, and again, we haven't heard both sides of the story, what it sounds like is they thought they were going to get promotion that they weren't getting, and since they haven't been in touch with him, they're not even positive he's showing up. So they don't even know what to do, and they rather it just didn't happen.
Now, Gary, you do these personal appearances all the time, and quite frankly, I don't even know what you do, but who cares?
I don't either.
But I mean, don't you think it's very unusual for Jenks to get 100% up front in August for a January appearance? Usually it's 50% up front and 50% when you show up.
No, Jenks is right about this, and I started doing this a long time ago. I had contracts too, and I got 100% up front, and Jenks hit it right on the head. Once you promote a club, that's done. You can never get that back again, and I got burned that way once or twice. You promote, and then all of a sudden on Thursday they say, you know what, don't bother showing up, and you're like, well, I've just given them all the promotion. They got what they wanted, so I always got 100% up front.
Yeah, but 6 months out?
No, I usually about a month before.
And then you're dealing with these wacko people that do these appearances from your show. What if they get drunk and they get sick and they don't do a good show? All of a sudden now the bar owner's screwed out of paying him 100% up front. He has no way to pull monies away.
But that would happen with anybody. What if a band got sick and couldn't show up for a concert?
I mean, dude, that's the bar owner's problem. I mean,
a band's a different thing. A band, you do pay 50% up front, 50% at the night of the show. And if they screw up, you pull money. You have a tight contract. But when you're doing these loosely personal appearance situations, paying 100% 7 months up front.
Yeah, but that's their decision. And the biggest value of Jenks, it sounds like he's saying, is not him. It's
and you make a really good point in the sense that these people have to remember that they're hiring a gas station attendant who makes prank phone calls. I mean, they're not fucking hiring a college professor to come and show up here.
But hold on a second.
I'm not defending Jenks, but these people have to know what they're getting into.
But I will tell you that it works that way for anybody. If Jeremy Shockey, when he was with the New York Giants, gets paid to go to a bar, I'm telling you, Jeremy Shockey's not getting 50% of his money that night. Everybody gets paid up front.
He should get paid up front, but I mean, these bars, they're shocked that these whack jobs that they hire aren't showing up. I mean, you take a certain amount of risk.
I wish Steve would say specifically one bar,
right,
what Jenks did wrong, because it's very vague accusations. Yeah, I don't think there's places that he hasn't shown up except for the one that Jenks has admitted to. And maybe
there's a second place. There's a second
that he
place.
didn't show up to.
That's what the accusation is.
Well, that he didn't show up to this Friday. That's what.
No, that's the third place. There's a second place.
You can't count that as a place.
But the other thing is, again, Jason, I disagree with you because I'll tell you somebody who's the wackiest person we have on the show that is money in the bank that shows up all the time, and it's Beetlejuice. Have we ever gotten a call?
His handler show.
Okay, but has Beetlejuice ever missed an appearance?
Not that I know of.
No,
I don't know.
He's dependable.
But Gary, I'm not defending Jenks and saying that he should bail on these gigs, but you bartenders, if you hire a Jeff the Drunk or a Bigfoot, listen, I'm sure these guys show up to their appearances, but you're taking a certain amount of risk in your head, just like we take a risk when we book these people to come on the show.
And most contracts, doesn't your contract have some sort of what happens if you can't make it?
Yeah, I have to give the money back.
And that's why most contracts have that.
I'm saying I agree with that. I've never missed an appearance ever, so I've never been in a position to have to give the money back. But if I did, if I didn't show up for no good reason, I would give the money back.
Somebody made the point that Ryan Phillippe never got his Beetlejuice head, but that's different than Beetlejuice actually showing up for an appearance.